We've just seen at ITV's London headquarters how actually topics of sustainability and responsibility and ethics become something that people do in their normal jobs. So we've seen lawyers, we've seen people in HR, people in production management, even journalists and environmental scientists doing sustainability, responsibility, ethics in their job in a company. But this was the headquarters, so the question really here is it also being done if you're somewhere outside, across the company on a TV set, for instance, like we are here in Manchester right now. We are on the set of Coronation Street, which is the world's longest running soap. So let's see how people do it around here.
I'm Elizabeth Armistead, Head of Makeup. For our department regarding sustainability, the biggest change that we've ever had is we've gone from 4 continuity files with loads of paper, printing out pictures, to just using the iPad, taking pictures on the iPad, sending everything electronically. So we print off only the limited amount of paper for the people that are coming in on a daily basis. We've also gone to using eco-friendly products of washing up liquid, soap powder for the washing machine. We use the recycling bins all the time. And when we're not in the room, we always turn the lights out so that we are aware that the electricity is going to keep to a minimum. For us as a department, learning about sustainability has been really important, and also being able to go on carbon literacy training, which I think is beneficial for everybody.
My name's Nigel Lomas, Scenic Artist on Coronation Street.
My name's Keith Eccleston. I'm the construction manager in the construction workshop for Coronation Street, where our work is to build the sets for Coronation Street, but always bearing in mind sustainability. Big thing on our part is budget, so we try and reuse a lot of the stuff, so we keep the cost down and we also keep the waste down.
So conscious of that, when we're recycling our paints and what have you, we've got various places of cleaning brushes. If we have used anything that's a solvent base, we've got places down there we can actually use as well.
And most of the timber that is wasted, it goes into special skips, wood-only skips, and it goes away for wood pulping, and it's used for other products.
Timber to paint to any other materials, we're always conscious about how we're going to use that once again. If it's been used on a set, it's never going to be discarded. Cost is a consideration, but also the environment. We throw nothing away. If we can use it again, range of paints, range of materials, we'll always consider that against the environment. We won't throw anything away.
My name's Patrick Henshaw. I'm the prop store supervisor at Coronation Street. We aim to recycle everything as much as possible, down from the furniture to the packaging that we get the stuff delivered in. Our main aim is organisational and keeping everything in a place where you can go to it and find it instantly. In the prop store, the majority of what we've got has been used on multiple sets repeatedly. Furniture, we can make a table transform for another set by painting it, putting a different texture on it. So all the furniture is totally reusable. Packaging, like I say, we get stuff that comes in by eBay, so we flat pack the boxes, keep those. All the packaging we put in another area, we use that. We have areas where everything, furniture's in one area, small's in another, office in another. Everything is so organised that when you come up, you can come up looking for a specific item and you know exactly where to go. It saves time, but also, you know, everything we recycle, it saves money as well.
My name's Robbie Sanderson. I'm head of production for Coronation Street. We take sustainability very importantly here. We make 270 shows per year, and looking at how we can do that sustainable with a sustainability viewpoint is very important. We're in one of the galleries here at the moment, and it's a purpose-built site here. It's about 7.7 acres that ITV has built for the sole purpose of Coronation Street. When we started looking at sustainability, we kind of did it from the bottom up and the top down. I think one of the most important things is to question everything. Why do you do that? Is there a better way of doing it? There might not be, but always question it. Whether it's trying to minimise the paper we use, because we use a lot of paper in call sheets and scripts. Can we digitise the scripts so we don't end up printing scripts all the time? Our continuity is done in iPads, so we've cut out digital cameras, printing off pictures. All of that can be done with one implement, which is the iPad, and that, or a tablet, and that makes a big, big difference. I believe that there's a lot you can do, whether you're a television company or in any walk of life. When it comes to looking at pieces of paper, we've cut back from 70 to 90 sheets a month when we moved in here. Myself, I would get 5 scripts every week, 50 weeks of the year. I now get an email each week. Now, a number of other people do the same thing. It is questioning what the norms were before, and could we improve and could we do it better.
Hi, I'm Rosie Jones. I'm one of the art directors on Coronation Street, and what we do, we upcycle a lot in our sets, and the main skill for upcycling is just being creative. We try and reuse a lot of the props that we have in store, and we also try and send a message out as well that it's good and fun to upcycle. We've had a recent Beth and Kirk's wedding, so we used lots of recognisable second-hand pieces, for example old records, and turn them into something different, turn them into decorations and different things, painted them up and yeah, did fun things with them. And the same with Sinead and Chesney's backyard. We've got lots of second-hand things, maybe things we'd already got in stock, and painted them up to look different, get a lot of inspiration from other magazines and things like that, and just have a bit of fun really. And not everything works out, but it's good to try it, and there's no sort of set rules really.
My name's Tracy Cliff. I work in the costume department at Coronation Street at ITV, and I'm really passionate about ethical fashion. One of the things we do here is, instead of just going out and just buying high street items, we actually research it a little bit more and try and find ethical alternatives. So that would involve maybe if we know we need a lot of black t-shirts, we wouldn't just immediately go to a cheap high street shop. One of the skills we need is to be able to research ethical alternatives. We'd like to look a little bit deeper and see if we can find like a viable alternative that's just as good, just as useful, but has a more sort of conscious, ethically conscious background to it.
Hi, I'm Dan Jackson. I'm a production manager in ITV Drama, and sustainability here at Coronation Street has been my baby for the last 3 years. It started out as quite a small idea, I guess. It was something that I felt personally quite motivated by outside of work, and the opportunity came up to try and make the show a bit more environmentally sustainable, and I kind of seized it. So all of the power to this site is from 100% renewables. We have got low energy lighting in Studio 1, so all the theatrical lighting you see in this studio is LED, which runs at about 90% more efficient than the old tungsten style lighting. Hugely reduced the amount of paper that we use. We've really thought about reusing materials and reducing the need to start with new materials wherever we can. So whether that's sort of set design or props or the use of paper, really everybody's been motivated to try and reduce, reuse, recycle, kind of following that waste hierarchy down right across the show. Huge part of what we've done has been made possible by running carbon literacy training. So all of our crew now are aware of what we're trying to achieve as a show. That was a really big part for us, was to make sure that we communicate effectively to heads of department and their respective crews. And about 100 people have done carbon literacy training, so I've got a really good understanding of what it means to be kind of carbon literate, and what they can do both within their personal and professional lives to reduce the impact, the negative impact on the planet. But as a show, we've done all sorts, as I say, from reducing the amount of new material we need to do the various activities on the show, right through to running editorial on screen. We knew that it was a really big opportunity for us to speak to our audiences. You know, millions of people watch the show, and it would be a shame not to try and sneak some kind of sustainable messaging in there when appropriate and when sort of true to character. We're really proud of what we've done on that front as well. But it's been a huge team effort. You know, the biggest thing for me has just been how much everyone's embraced it. The minute you explain to people why it's important, then people who may not have thought about it previously have really run with it, and have kind of that ownership for me is so important. That kind of enabling, empowering piece is really what has made the difference here. And so as much as I help kind of chivvy it on a bit and kind of keep an eye on it, it really is just more babysitting these days, because people are kind of owning their own agenda and really thinking about their actions and what they're doing on their own terms when they're at work now, which is fantastic. So we come up with new ideas all the time. It's also given us an opportunity to be really creative in how we make the show. You know, it's not just about cost cutting or, you know, trying to do double-sided printing. That is a bit of it, but it's a really, really small part. What we found really from making the show green is that we've taken apart all the constituent workflows that people have been used to working with for years and years and years. And we've sort of looked at it and gone, right, how can we make that better? How can we be greener? How can we reduce the impact on the planet? You know, the drive to be sustainable here actually wasn't initially kind of from the top down. ITV now is very green, and last year we issued our social partnerships, which is all ITV's CSR agenda, of which sustainability is a huge part, but really we started before that. It was just something that we wanted to do. We kind of took the initiative, and that's just kind of grown and blossomed, and we are where we are today. We've won, I think, 3 awards now for the work that we've done, which is great. We're really proud of those and hope to win some more. But yes, as I say, it was kind of just down to people's own kind of integrity and their desire to change that we've been as successful as we have been. One of the most important ways to get sustainability really up and successful is by enabling people. I didn't want to be the green guy in Coronation Street. We've very much been an education piece, and as soon as we've kind of empowered people with the knowledge and the skills that they need to get on and do it, people own it, and they're able to be as creative as they can be and change their role for the better.
My name's Kieran Roberts. I'm executive producer of Coronation Street. That means I have overall editorial responsibility for the programme and managerial responsibility. I lead some of the teams. I'm responsible for the way the programme deals with a lot of outside stakeholders, ITV, some of our commercial partners, and of course the public, the biggest stakeholder of all. In my job, I do have to stand up and be counted. I have to stand up and speak on behalf of these issues. That's very important that I sort of lead by example, if you like. It's not been difficult for me because sustainability is clearly such an important issue. I had no difficulty getting behind it. I went on the training courses. I'm happy to make sure our editorial teams do their job. I'm very happy to support initiatives right across the production. For me though, the most important thing is not changing your skill set or behaving in a different way. It's just making the decision that you want things to happen. And if you want to follow sustainability, then just do your job well and make sure it happens. We've been passionate about sustainability for a good many years, but we had this fantastic opportunity when we moved to this wonderful new site in Trafford to think about the way we made the programme, to think about the way we built our new lot and our new studios. So lots of important initiatives like LED lighting in our studios, 100% renewable sources for our electricity, lots of recycling initiatives. We're recycling over 90% of our waste. But also we have to think very carefully about the way we portray the world in the programme, and that's an incredibly important and powerful tool that we have in getting the message of sustainability across. So we have characters like Roy Cropper and Sinead Tinker, who are naturally very pro-recycling. We saw the Tinker's wedding when they sort of upcycled all sorts of things to create an 80s themed wedding. Roy, of course, is at the forefront with locally sourced organic produce. You know, he thinks about food miles all the time. He thinks very carefully about waste. We have recycling as just part of the fabric of the programme now. If you go into the ginnel behind the houses, you'll see all the recycling bins, and that's just part of the backdrop of the programme for all time now. We've even got a character like Tyrone Dobbs, who's, you know, not the person you might naturally think of as being passionate about this issue, but he is currently trying to recycle and sell on scrap metal and find new uses and a little bit of spare cash for old material. So it's all part of the fabric of the programme. Sometimes it forms parts of the stories of the programmes. It's obviously character driven. We have to be true to the characters and true to the world, but we are very conscious now. We have this huge responsibility to portray good examples of sustainable living, sustainable behaviour through our characters and through our stories.
We have seen how people here at Coronation Street and ITV actually practice sustainability, responsibility and ethics, and they do so from very, very different occupational backgrounds, from very different departments, and also with different skills and competences they need in order to get the job done. So what we will do this week in the lecture is actually then to bring all of these different pieces together and to understand how they come together to create a sustainable, a responsible and an ethical organization. Well, let's do it then.